possibly taking the day off work if you had to come here. We appreciate it. A couple of housekeeping things. The bar concession is open. We are selling alcohol, no pressure. Restrooms are down the hall to the right. And I'm going to introduce my buddy Mike from Ohio, Mike Big Rainer. He started as a fan of David Lynch's work, and long story short, 7 years later, he's been the road manager for Ray and several other groups, several other folks. But Mike's going to be leading the conversation today, and I'm going to hand it over to him. Thank you.
I didn't hear what she said, so. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming. Meet Ray Wise, one of the best, most versatile actors out there, character actors. Been in productions. So, how many people have seen Twin Peaks in its entirety? How many people have not? You're going to get stuff spoiled for you. And then these spoilers are pretty, there's one big one. And you might be in the room with a really important character. But we've been doing this for 7 years with the cast of Twin Peaks around the country, and it's been a dream for me as a fan, and I try to hold it together every time I'm next to this man. So we have some great stories to tell you, some great stuff to share with you, and we have to do it all in under an hour. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Who wants a microphone? Can you guys hear okay?
Yeah.
You can hear me. If Ray doesn't project loud enough, just tell him and we'll get the microphone.
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the best actors of all time, Ray Wise.
I was born in 1947, right in City Hospital. Same hospital LeBron James was born in, and Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Just a little side. And I went from Ohio, Akron, Ohio, to New York, and then from New York out to California. In a career and a trip that took 57 years so far. I've been a professional actor for 57 years. And that's all I ever wanted to be. I didn't want to be a television star, a movie star, or any of that stuff. I wanted to be a professional actor who worked constantly. But I never sought anything above that. In fact, in my junior high school yearbook and my high school yearbook, I said, my goal in life is to become a professional actor. I wanted to be an actor from the time I was 10 years old. You know, I was in a 4th grade Christmas play. I played a Christmas tree. I was in the back, upstage, with lights on me and bulbs and some tinsel, and I couldn't move. I was a tree. And the leads in the play were a guy and a girl, and they were skating on a make-believe ice pond. And I watched him with the girl, and I thought to myself, I want to be that guy someday. And so everything I did from that point on was toward becoming a professional actor. I did all of the assemblies at Garfield High School in South Akron. Garfield? Yes.
She graduated with you.
Oh,
I was hoping.
okay. So we were talking about this at the shows we did over the past couple of days. If anybody would show up from his class.
Who?
Yeah, dude, this is a. Let's do this.
Face closely?
It's Charlotte Westfall.
Bobo. She was Bobo at that time.
Oh, wow.
McCune. Yeah, it was McClure.
Oh, McClure, sorry.
Yeah. I've been married twice.
And you were in my class, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Well, how are you doing?
Getting old.
Oh, yeah. I was hoping somebody from my class would show up. That's wonderful.
I'm
Thank
here.
you.
You're wonderful.
Well, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you.
You look great. Yeah, I can't tell you, this is a wonderful environment, a wonderful place. You're very fortunate to have this. We've been in a lot of schlock theaters in the last
Even like big ones that were horrible.
Yeah, big ones that held 600-800 people, and can't compare to this. Can't compare. So.
And that's not just Hollywood class saying that. It's not fluffing you up.
So anyway, I went to Kent State University, and I graduated in 1969, and I went right to New York with $300 in my pocket and my suitcase. And I flew from Akron-Canton Airport into Newark Airport in New Jersey, took a bus to the West Side Airline Terminal in Manhattan, got off that bus, and got on a bus on 8th Avenue, the 104, went up 8th Avenue that turns into Broadway. I got off at 69th Street and Broadway, and right in the corner was a cheap hotel called the Spencer Arms Hotel. And I got a room for $43 a week. Yeah.
In New York.
This is 1970 now. And it wasn't, luxury, but it did have a bathroom. And fortunately, I was only in that room for a couple of weeks. Because I went to a meeting with an agent, and I took a Look magazine that had a full-page ad of me in a movie that I made while I was at Kent State. This producer came to Kent State and wanted to make this movie. So we shot it in Canton, Ohio. It was called David David at the time, but now it's called
Dare the Devil.
To Dare the Devil, yes. And I played a young guy, seminarian, who wants to be a priest, and he runs into this terribly hot, passionate Greek woman who doesn't want him to be a priest. And therein lies the conflict.
And does a very good job of convincing you.
Yes, and I remember the confession scene. Well, anyway.
It's a lost film.
It's a lost film, but he can't find it anywhere.
I talked to the director, and he had producers on it from Youngstown that were pretty powerful people, I think, that took it from him. And there are prints maybe somewhere, and we've even contacted Quentin Tarantino to try to track one down.
Yep.
If he can't find it, then it's not out there.
And it's just as well.
Yeah. I wanted to
I
surprise
wish
him
we
with
could
it.
find a lot of them that I've done, and I've done around 125 movies, and over 300 different productions, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
There's only one out there in Hollywood that's done more than that, and that's Eric Roberts.
That's right.
Because he doesn't turn anything down.
Definitely.
Did you want me in your movie? Okay. And but he's a fine actor, and we're good friends. But I'll gossip about him if I get a chance. So there I was. I had this Look magazine full-page ad, and the agent said, "Well, what have you done? I mean, why would I take you on?" So look at this. David David, starring Raymond Wise. I went by Raymond then, but then I wised up.
Wow. He hasn't said that all weekend. We'll cut that from the show later.
I thought it would be a little catchier if I made it just Ray Wise. Something that, easy to remember, easy to spell. And when I do my autograph, you can actually read it. Ray Wise,
Very true.
And so I showed him that ad, and he said, okay, we'll try you out a couple of things here, and I'll send you out a couple of things. We'll see how it goes. Little trial periods. I'm ready to go. So I get a call a few days later, and he said, they're going to replace this character in this play off Broadway. It's called Fortune in Men's Eyes. Sal Mineo production. Sal Mineo directed it, the actor. And it's in a theater on the east side. It's off Broadway. And they want to replace the lead character of Rocky. And so they wanted me to go and observe and watch a performance of the play. So I went that night to see the Fortune in Men's Eyes. And the play opens up, and it's a men's prison. And it's a cell with bars, and then an open area. And there are some inmates walking around, convicts walking around. And then this fella comes down center stage, all the way to the footlights, totally nude, full frontal, right down to the foot, closer than I am to you. And there he was, in all of his glory. Guess who that guy was? Tommy Lee Jones.
Expression right is exactly what I did.
Tommy Lee. I don't know that he would ever admit that he did that production. But anyway, that was the character of Rocky. And he was going to leave the show, and they were thinking about me replacing him. And I thought, no. I can't do this. I think, I was 21 years old, and I'm not ready to do this. I'm not going to show myself like that. I don't know. Maybe in 10, 15 years when I'm desperate. Not now. So I went back and I had to tell the producers, I can't do that. They said, well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're going to do a Boston production, and there won't be any of that full frontal nudity. You just have to simulate sex with a man in the shower. That's as far as you go. Look, can I think about it? Yeah. But, give us an answer within the next day or two, please. Okay. Just let me think about it. About the Boston production. Well, thank God, that agent, called me up the next day and said, there's an open audition at CBS over on West 57th Street for a soap opera called Love of Life. Get your tail down there and read for the head casting director and see if anything comes of it. And I said, oh man, okay. So I went down there, and I went in, and I saw Jean Arley. She was the head casting director. And she sat there and looked at me, and she thought, yeah. Here are 3 pages of a scene. Go out in the hall, go over it, come in and read for me. I went out in the hall, I went over it, and oh, man. I put everything I had in that reading for her. And she sat there, and was, very observant. It seemed as though she was, it was a very positive response from her. She said, okay, that's good. All right, thank you. We'll possibly be in touch. Okay. I hear 3 days later, I'm still in my $43 a week hotel room. I hear that they want me to come down to the Love of Life studio on West 53rd Street, right behind the Ed Sullivan Theater. On the other side of the wall from Studio 54, that very famous disco at the time. And there was a door between my studio and Studio 54 that nobody knew about. I was in Studio 54 almost every night. There I am, 21 years old and cutting loose. Anyway, I was trying to... So I did this camera test for the producer and the director of Love of Life. And I was replacing a guy on the show who was a hippie college radical. And apparently he didn't get along with the rest of the cast. when they decided to recast it. And so I started out as a hippie college radical on the show when they cast me in it. I found out 3 days later that I got the job. And I had dollar signs in my eyes. I had visions of making money, you know. I started at $250 a day episode. 1970, that was all the money in the world. And I had visions of making $50,000 a year, possibly. Oh my God, my mother and father are going to go nuts when they hear this. And so I was thrilled, and I came on the show as the hippie college radical who caused the president of my university to have a heart attack because I was starting riots on campus and that sort of thing. And in the process, over the next 7 years and over 900 episodes of that show, I became a lawyer. But first I was a cub reporter on the newspaper, and then I became a lawyer, and then I went to work for the district attorney's office. And then finally, when they shipped me off, I was going to New York to work for a big, big law firm. And that was my progression, love of life. In the meantime, my best friend on the show, his character died of a rare blood disease, and I made a married woman pregnant accidentally. Anyway, everything happened to me, imaginable. Everything in that 7-year period. And then finally it all ended, and the show went off the air in 1979. I left in 1977, and I went right out to the West Coast. And I was out in California for a couple of weeks when I was cast in Charlie's Angels, the original Charlie's Angels. And I was playing a kind of a hippie, kind of a ex-Vietnam veteran walking around in my old combat gear and long hair, and I was stalking a female golfer on the women's professional golf tour. And that golfer was Jamie Lee Curtis. She was 19 years old, and it was her second job after Halloween, Carpenter's Halloween. And I was stalking her, and it was a wonderful episode, and I think that I got eaten by an alligator on a golf course in Florida.
You can watch it on Tubi.
Which I guess could really actually happen. Anyway, I think, and that was the beginning of my career. Then it was Barnaby Jones, and then boom, all through the rest of the 70s, all through the 80s.
Moonlighting.
I had a big fight with Robert Wagner on Heart to Heart, where we destroyed the whole first floor of his house. And I had a fight with Mr. T on the A-Team. And he won, but I think I could have taken him.
You just get a bottle of liquor and have an afternoon free.
Yeah.
You can watch Ray Wise the Henchman in a lot of episodes of TV at the time. It's pretty great.
Yeah, and then, and then I started branching out, and of course, RoboCop came in 1987, and then Twin Peaks came along in 1989, and then movie after movie after movie after movie.
Let's circle back to early 80s real quick. Your relationship
Oh, we're going 1981, yeah.
Wes Craven and Swamp Thing.
Wes Craven and Swamp Thing, with Adrienne Barbeau and Louis Jourdain. Louis, what a class act he was.
And Adrienne was married to John Carpenter at the time.
She was married to John Carpenter at the time.
Who stopped by the set.
A fact that didn't thrill me very much. I had a big crush on Adrienne. And I couldn't wait to do the scene where I actually get to kiss her. And when that scene came, I really planted one on her. And I think that she enjoyed it almost as much as I did. And then John Carpenter visited the set. And I had to keep my hand, I had to keep my distance. Killed me. Anyway.
It was funny, a few weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, Ray and I were with Adrian, and they did a Q&A together. And I remember you saying John Carpenter came to the set, and she was like, well, that doesn't sound like John at all. I don't remember him coming to the set. And it was just so funny because there were times where, like, you and John had hung out, and she didn't know he was there. Or something. They were married.
Yeah.
But because of your relationship with Wes Craven,
This is my apple juice.
this is your apple juice sponsored by Jameson. Cheers, Ray.
Oh, yeah, cheers. To you. Thank you all for coming.
Something that will blow your minds. True or false, Ray?
Oh, that's good coffee.
It is really good. Really good. I'm trying not to diminish mine before you.
Now, you were saying about Wes.
Wes, yes.
Yeah.
So you were considered for the role of Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. Wes said, hey, come on in and let's do a test. And you play this lead character in Nightmare on Elm Street. A guy by the name of Freddy Krueger. And I said, okay. I got the material. I looked at the material and okay. Okay, I can do this. So I went in and I read for Wes, and he put it on camera, and I thought I did a pretty good job. And it was finally boiled down to me and Robert Englund, the two of us, and Wes had to make a choice, and he chose Robert. Because Robert looked more like Freddy Krueger. Had that natural Freddy Krueger look. I didn't look that much like Freddy Krueger. They had to do a bang up makeup job on me. And Robert, they hardly had to touch it. And then those knives on the fingers, I wasn't too thrilled about that.
See, I'm a geek, Ray. It's just the right hand. It's just
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
It's not both.
So that one, so I missed out on that one, but then, the next one comes along. I was always very optimistic. I've always been that something's going to happen in the next few days. Something's going to come right around the corner and hit me right smack in the face. And it's going to be something good.
One of those things that almost did is the role of Dr. Grant in Jurassic Park.
Oh, God. That's another one.
Which I can absolutely picture you. You would say O'Neill had a similar.
For the longest time, people wanted, when Twin Peaks was over, directors and producers, they wanted to meet Leland Palmer. Not necessarily Ray, but Leland. And Steven Spielberg, Diane Keaton. Diane Keaton was doing a movie for television. She was directing it. And I went up to read for her and to play the father of a girl in this movie. And I didn't get that either. She gave it to Beau Bridges. And I thought, well, she just wanted to, to say hello to Leland Palmer. Steven Spielberg, same way. He called me in and he said, and it was just me and him in his office, and we did the scene from Jurassic Park together. He was the other actors, and I was playing Sam Neill. And I thought, yeah, I could play the hell out of this. Being chased by dinosaurs. That's a natural for me. Because when I was a kid, I had a little pet alligator named Ron. A little sidebar. In the 50s, it was common to send little alligators through the mail in little cardboard corrugated boxes with holes in it, so they could breathe, from Florida. And my uncle had a bar down in Miami on Tamiami Trail, and he decided to send me an alligator up to Akron, Ohio. And I got the box in the mail, and I opened up the end of the box, and the little alligator scooted out, and I didn't find him for 3 days. I finally trapped him underneath our living room couch, and I put him in the bathtub. And I raised that alligator for the first few months that I had it in that bathtub, and I had to push raw hamburger down his throat, you know, because he wouldn't eat it naturally. So I had to, and they have a palate in the back of their throat that closes up so that when they swim through the water like this with their mouth open, so that water doesn't go down in their lungs. They have that back palate. So you have to push that down and push the hamburger past it.
And you still have all your fingers, so I mean.
Yeah. I still he had these little needle teeth, you know, that were pretty sharp. And, but you know, I grew that alligator to about 3.5 feet long, and then it just became a little bit too much. You know, walking him out in the backyard on a leash. The neighbors thought I was crazy to have an alligator, so I gave it to the local, the Perkins Zoo. The zoo's still there, isn't it?
I wonder if the alligator's still there. Find out.
I gave Rocky to that zoo, and then I would visit him from time to time, and I think he did well. And but he's long gone now, you know. I don't know where they buried Rocky. I would like to visit. Anyway.
It's good you gave him to the zoo though before Akronites started disappearing. You know, getting eaten by your alligator.
Put him in the
Well, that's a big 3.5 feet. I mean, those the jaws on those things.
What are you talking about?
He does this when he wants to move on.
Yes. Well, where was I?
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I had read for Philip Kaufman for a movie called Rising Sun with Sean Connery, and Wesley Snipes, and Harvey Keitel. And he was a fan of Twin Peaks also, Philip Kaufman. You know, who did that great movie all about these original 7 astronauts. What was that called?
Right stuff. Right stuff.
Yeah, The Right Stuff. Fine director. So I was thrilled to read for him for The Senator in Rising Sun, the Michael Crichton book. And
Who also wrote Jurassic Park.
yeah, and he also wrote Jurassic Park. Yes, thank you. And so I read for Philip, and he liked it fine, and I found out a couple of days later that he wanted me to play the Senator. In the meantime, I'm waiting to hear from Steven Spielberg about playing the role in Jurassic Park. And at the time, the Sean Connery thing looked more attractive to me. And had I known how many iterations there would be of Jurassic Park and how big the residual checks would be.
There's 7 of those movies now.
Yeah. And anyway, Philip Kaufman is chomping at the bit trying to get an answer from me, and I'm waiting. Yeah, and so I was in a quandary. You know, I said, God, you know, I've got a bird in the hand, and I'm waiting for all the other stuff in the bush. I don't know what I was talking about. So I said to Philip Kaufman, I'll do it. And I think probably it really pissed Stephen off. I think it did, because he didn't have me in ever for any of his other movies since then. And we would run into each other from time to time. When I did Good Night and Good Luck, you know, for George Clooney, I was invited to go to the Critics' Choice Awards to represent the cast, and I went, and Steven Spielberg was there, and he came over, and I shook his hand, and he said, well, it's good to see you're still alive.
Yep. He was a great guy until then.
Now, I think what he meant was, if you haven't seen Good Night and Good Luck, I played Don Hollenbeck, the local CBS anchor newsman at the time, in the 1950s, with Edward R. Murrow. And he's running into a bad time. His wife has divorced him, and this columnist for one of the New York papers is calling him a pinko in print because of some of the things that, some of the news stories that he's done on the CBS network about the McCarthy hearings and, how they're, ruining people's lives with these hearings. And my life gets ruined too in that film. And I decided to end it by turning on the gas in my apartment. So I think maybe that's what he meant. It's good to see you're still alive.
We're going to go with that.
I'm going to go with that.
And now you passed on my movie, and you're dead, Tom.
And not that you were a dead man, Wyatt, after you did that to me in Jurassic Park.
So before we move on to Twin Peaks,
Yeah.
Good night and good luck working with the powerhouse actors. That whole, Jeff Daniels, David Strathairn, Robert Downey Jr., George Clooney, and as director and actor. How much of a blast was it with all of those greats? Just all of you just kind of shooting the shit on the set.
Oh, God. Yeah, it was the best time ever. Yeah.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah, just soaking it all in, We were all smoking cigarettes. And, yeah, the 50s was a cigarette time, man.
Well, that whole movie is just, you always see it.
The smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had smoke all over me. The whole time.
Were those real cigarettes or like the?
No, they were mostly all real.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I know Cheryl Lee told me in
I don't think anybody
was
went for
all-
the herbal ones, the ones that aren't have real tobacco in them.
Well, I know Fire Walk With Me, like they hadn't come out with herbal ones yet. And Cheryl was like, she had to smoke 22 cigarettes for one scene.
Right.
And it was real cigarettes. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
that's
Well, we could talk about that movie if you'd like. Firewalk.
Yeah, Fire Walk With Me. Any Twin Peaks fans in here? They're like, we've been waiting a half hour.
For my money, that's David's masterpiece, Firewalk with Me. And when it debuted at the Cannes Film Festival, it got 15 minutes worth of booze. Not booze. Not apples, but boo. Yeah, that kind of boo. And but since then, it has garnered a lot of more critical praise and has become a popular movie with audiences. And for my money, if you really want to know the inside of David Lynch's mind, watch Firewalk with Me, and you'll get a pretty good indication of what's going on up there. And so,
Such an incredible performance by you and Cheryl both. And
yeah, she ran through the gamut of emotions in that one, and of course I had to kill her in that one. I'm not spoiling it. But yeah.
Children's Maddie.
Because I'm the king of spoilers. I talk too much, and I give stuff away, and I shouldn't.
In fact, in Atlanta in '96, you did just that, correct?
Oh, in '96. Yeah, the year was 1996. Atlanta, Georgia. I'm doing a show called Savannah in Atlanta. Figure that one out. We would go down to Savannah and shoot for a couple of days, a lot of outside scenes. Then we would go back to Atlanta and do all the stuff in the studio. And anyway, so I'm doing Savannah in Atlanta in 1996, and I got invited to a few Olympics. The Olympics were in Atlanta in 1996. And I got invited to some events, and one of them was to go to the Olympic Park one evening under a big tent to watch James Brown and his Band of Renown and the Famous Flames, and to meet Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Which, funny enough,
The two great NBA stars from the Chicago Bulls, 6-time champion.
and when you flew here,
And when I flew here just a few days ago from LA here to Columbus,
well, Akron.
what?
Akron now. Yeah. What city are we in? Akron.
What?
Started in Columbus.
Keep going. We'll do Columbus. Go for it.
Yeah. When I flew to Columbus because I couldn't fly to Akron nonstop from LAX.
That is correct. I will just drink my apple juice.
Yeah. So, and who should be sitting next to me? Scottie Pippen. And we reacquainted ourselves with each other. You know, we talked about Atlanta, and he was supposed to do an episode of another show that I did called Fresh Off the Boat, which was on the air for six years, of my longest running series. And it should be that one. When I played one of the top 100 dentists in Orlando, Florida. Out of all the stuff I've done, that's the one that stayed on TV the most. The one that I wish had stayed on forever was Reaper, where I played the devil on the CW network. I could have played the devil forever. Because my devil he was a combination between a talk show host and a good used car salesman. And he made you feel good about yourself, you know. He kept that smile on his face, and you just felt confidence in that man. And he could pretty much get you to do anything he wanted you to do. And I'm not singling you out, but I can't help keep my eyes from going to you. So, yeah. So I wish that I played the devil forever, but it only lasted 2 seasons. I think 32 or 33 episodes. It got canceled. Again, it was a political thing. Again, the head of the CW network at that time was a woman by the name of Dawn Ostroff, and she didn't like our show very much. We didn't have enough Gossip Girls on it. You know that show, Gossip Girls? Yeah. We were a bunch of guys, you know, having a good time with the devil, and so they canceled us. And
You did How I Met Your Mother, Robin. That ran for a while, right?
Which one?
How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother. I played Robin Sr. on that. I was the vice president on 24 all during the entire 5th season.
Yeah, best season.
And that was a great season for 24. And
the plot of that season.
The what?
The plot of that season, Kiefer had to take down the
Well, yeah, they brought me on the show because they wanted everybody to think that I was the bad guy. And of course, you look at me and it's obvious.
But the bad guy really ended up being
Was the president.
The president.
Not me. I was
What
the guy.
a story, right? So weird.
Yeah.
And ahead of its time.
Ahead of his time. Yeah.
So you're in Olympic Park, 1996.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Get back to my original story. Yeah, so I'm listening to James Brown, and I got to meet Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and introduce myself to them. And then this fella comes up to me, and he says, "Mr. Weiss, can I ask you a few questions?" Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you can ask me some questions. Okay. He called over his camera crew.
Oh, no.
The guy came with a camera, and there's a sound man with a boom mic, and the whole deal. And he comes up to me, and they're setting up, and they're going to shoot me. It turns out they're from Russia, and they want to do an interview with me. And so this fellow that came up to me, his first question was, "Mr. Wise, who killed Laura Palmer?" And I said, "What?" "Well, I did. Oh, God, wait a minute. I'm thinking, it's 1996. Russia just is now getting Twin Peaks.
Because the internet was not a big spoiler thing.
And they haven't gotten to the part yet about who killed Mark Palmer. I've just ruined it for an entire country. Talk about spoilers. I've just done the ultimate spoilage. And I said, oh my God. And it only took like, it seemed like it.
That's what I've been saying all weekend. I'm like, and Ray ruined it for all of us because now we're at war.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, and it only took like half a second for me to say, or not.
Nailed it.
Did I save it? I don't know. I hope so. I haven't got any repercussions from it, but I hope to God that I didn't ruin it for an entire country.
Your phone didn't ring with David going, Ray.
No, David, no. David never, castigated us about anything. He said, David, do you mind if I do these screenings? These Fire Walk With Me screenings and meet the fans. And he said, Ray, do it. Just do it. It's okay with me. Yep.
He was that guy. He was such a supportive. I remember talking to his assistant.
Totally, yeah.
And David let me show Inland Empire for free because he was restoring it and wasn't quite happy with it yet of the restoration. And I just got briefly to say that I was taking you guys on the road and everything. And he said, that's wonderful. My best to them, and what just a loving person he was, just to put all positive vibes into the universe. And I wish I could have met him more than once.
Wonderful man. We lost him a little bit ago. And it was a shocker. Left a hole in a lot of us, and it didn't seem right that the world suddenly became a place that didn't have him in it anymore. And I'm still going strong. We're the same age. We were the same age. And I'm still doing it, and he's not. And there's something really wrong about that too. But he will go on in his films, and I think that he will enjoy a long relationship with all of us.
And to see the generations that Twin Peaks has hit and the screenings we do, 6-year-olds, 9-year-old girl showed up in Burbank, wrapped in plastic, painted blue. To me, Ray.
Man.
Not joking. She came
Where
walking
are
up
your
and-
mother and father? Wrapped in plastic, she walked.
She couldn't even walk because she's
The nice thing about it is, new generations are turning on to Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And we just had a bunch of them yesterday.
Over the weekend.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds.
All seen it for the first time.
Yeah, they've all seeing it for the first time and really loving it, and how many things can you say that about, 40 years, almost 40 years after the fact, we're still in this room talking about it, and I'm still walking around.
Yeah, one thing I never asked you, when you guys were shooting that and it was airing, or you had shot it, it was airing season 1 and it was becoming this phenomenon, did you get any time to really realize this was happening? Because I know you were working on 1,000 things, but were you aware of how unbelievably huge this thing is becoming?
No, we know.
Or were you,
we shot the pilot up in the Northwest, and we thought, this is good stuff, and we're working with great people, and we became very close very quickly, became like a Twin Peaks family, and we were doing some heavy stuff, but we tried to keep it light in between, and so we knew it was something special, and that it would be good, and we were really having a good time doing it, but we had no idea how it could ever get on the ABC television network. Twin Peaks on TV? I don't think so. And ABC at that time was owned and operated by an organization called Capital Cities, and they were a very extremely conservative organization, and didn't really like Twin Peaks or understand it, or well, however they felt about it. They weren't really behind the show 100%. And so when you know everybody wanted to know who killed Laura Palmer, that was the ABC television executives pushing David and Mark Frost to come up with a killer. Come on, stop dragging it. Just come on, find the killer, say who it is, and then let's move on. And they kept putting the pressure on. They finally gave David an ultimatum: you come up with a killer or we're going to cancel the show right now. Shooting themselves in the foot. The show had become the #1 show in the world. 75 foreign countries. And, you know, God knows how much money they made in their commercials. I don't know. Anyway, they wanted an answer. So, they had to pick somebody.
How does that make you feel?
Well, how do you think it makes?
That's my prompt for you to tell the story.
Yes, I know. I know. I knew they were going to have to pick somebody in town to be the killer, and I was praying that it's not going to be me. It can't be me. I had a little 2-year-old daughter at the time of my own. The whole idea of being the killer of my own daughter on the show was anathema to me. I did not want it to be me. And if somehow it turns out that it is me, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave the show. I'm going to walk out. I had a few nights thinking about it, restless sleep, about quitting. And then I thought, they're going to sue the hell out of me. So that idea was laid to rest. I'm not going to walk out. I'm not going to quit. But I still hope that it's not me. And then I get a call one day to come to the studio, go to a specific room on the 2nd floor to meet with David and Mark. And I thought, uh-oh. And every time I think about this, I have to have a little sip. So I go to that room on the 2nd floor. I open the door, and it's dark. And it's devoid of furniture of any kind. There's only a lava lamp in the corner. And in the opposite corner is David Lynch sitting cross-legged on the floor. Mark Frost sitting cross-legged on the floor. Richard Beamer, who played Ben Horn, sitting cross-legged on the floor. Cheryl Lee as Maddie, sitting cross-legged on the floor. So I walked over and sat cross-legged on the floor. And David leans over, touches me on the knee, and he says, "Ray, it's you. It's always been you." What do you mean it's always been me? Shit. I said shit. I said shit out loud. I think I did. He said, "No, shit. No. Come on. Don't tell me this. I don't want to leave town. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to die." And David said, "Ray, it's going to be a beautiful thing." Yeah? Yeah. And then he goes on to tell me, I'm going to die in Cooper's arms, my favorite FBI agent. We might get into that a little later.
Maybe.
I die in Cooper's arms, and he's reciting the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And then I look down, as I'm dying, I look down a long tunnel, and at the end of that tunnel is a bright light, and in that light is my daughter Laura. And she's holding out her arms to me, forgiving me. He made it sound so beautiful. I couldn't object anymore. I said, okay, if this is the way it has to be, if I got to be the one sacrificed, I'll do it as well as I can. And that scene came along a few days later, and I died with the water trickling down on me and in Cooper's arms, just as it was explained to me by David. And it was a beautiful thing. It gave me great relief, and it gave me, even as an actor, I felt some sense of redemption for what I did. And I did it as a character, but I took it on personally, and it gave me a feeling of redeeming myself somehow. And then I was gone. They had a nice memorial for me in the next episode. I wish I could have attended, but and then when the rumors started going around town that maybe there would be a third season, I thought, yeah, I think that's very, very possible. So I started talking it up, to everybody that would listen to me. I said, yeah, I think there's a good chance there'll be a third season,
So you're the reason it was all over the internet.
What?
I said you're the reason it was all over the internet then before it.
Well, I won't say that it was just me.
We'll just blame Kyle.
But I did learn a great deal about the internet. No. And I went to a retrospective at the Orange County Museum for David's artwork, and he invited me, and we sat down, and we had a nice dinner and so forth, and they talked about his artwork and did a slideshow and all that, and we talked very closely, and I said, David, there's a rumor going around town there's going to be a third season, and he said, well, the town is still there, Ray. Yeah, but I'm dead. Oh, we can work around that. And so he gave me hope, all of a sudden, I think maybe I'm going to show up in the third season. And they announced the third season a couple, 3 months later, that they're going to do a third season. And I got a call on my phone, my landline, not on my cell. And I had an answering machine on that landline, and I wasn't there to get the call. So when I came home that night and I pressed the button to hear my messages, and I hear this. If this is Ray Wise, this is David Lynch here. We're going back, Ray. Call the office. So I called the office. And I got the call, and they said, yeah, you're going to be in third season. You're going to be in it. I thought, oh, wonderful, wonderful. And I had all these visions in my head. I was imagining what I could possibly be doing in the third season. They're going to bring Leland back, but maybe not as Leland. Maybe as his twin brother, Leonard. Yeah, Leonard comes to town to find out what the hell happened to his brother. What the mystery of Leland Palmer was, and why he's dead. And I thought, yes, Leonard, that would be a good way to go. I may have even suggested that. But I don't think I know they didn't buy it. I ended up one line in season 3, and it was "Find Laura," and I had to say it backwards.
I'm going to show you exactly how this was done. So,
Oh yeah.
when I say go, tell the audience your entire script for season 3.
Okay. Find Laura.
See, this is my test to make sure I have the volume. There we go. All right.
Find Laura.
So they want you to say that in the Black Lodge. You got to learn it in reverse. So you got to say
Harold Schneef.
one more time.
Harold Schneef.
Say that.
Harold Schneef.
Oh, close. yeah. That's the gist of it.
Yeah, David came up with that little talking backwards trick, and then Michael, you know, the little guy who dance, you know, he was expert at. You could give him any line of dialogue, and it immediately translated into backwards talk. He had a facility for it. He had a real talent for it, and so he helped us with all the any backward talking we had to do. And he was a nice fella, nice little guy. And I don't know how well he's doing today. Do you know?
Well, he was nice, and something happened. And he wasn't.
Oh yeah.
And so David replaced him in season 3 with a tree.
Yeah, he said something about David.
He said that David calls it on the fly and doesn't know how to edit his way out of a paper bag.
But you know, there he is criticizing the process. You know, David's process, which was, you know, it's not conventional, it's not orthodox. It's his own process.
Well, the other thing, I'm sure none of you are in the editing room with David. So Michael wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well, but David was in the editing room.
But that's what I mean. Is
Yeah,
like
believe me, yeah.
Michael didn't even see David edit, so he can't comment on it.
Yeah, I can't.
Not talking bad about it, but I'm just. If you do that in the
But
industry,
David's whole process was that, you know, he set everything up for us. He made it a wonderful working atmosphere. We woke up every morning to go to the studio and happy, eager to get to work that day, and that's so rare, you know. It's so rare, and he made it that way. He made a wonderful atmosphere on the set, wonderful working experience, and then David, one of his geniuses was in casting. He unfailingly cast the right person in the right role. And when I found out that all about Twin Peaks, I got sent a script from my agent, and it was called Northwest Passage. I'm looking through the script, and my agent said, you know, you're going to go in and meet David Lynch for this. I said, oh, great, David Lynch, yeah. Elephant Man, Eraserhead, Dune, Blue Velvet, of course. And so, oh yeah, oh great, okay. So I'm looking through the script to see what I could possibly be going up for. And I'm thinking, Sheriff Truman. Yeah, I can be Sheriff Truman. You know, the cowboy hat and the Sam Brown belt and the badge and all that. Yeah, I can do that. So I'm going to go in and meet David, and we're going to talk about Sheriff Truman. Well, went in to meet him. We're not talking about Sheriff Truman or the script or anything else that has to do with Twin Peaks. We talk about our first cars. His was a Volkswagen Beetle. Mine was a 1960 Alfa Romeo convertible, red with a black top. that I paid $1,100 for. Yeah, in 1965.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
And that was a lot of dough in 1965. That was every cent that was ever saved up by me and other members of my family. And my dad found that car for me, and I love him to death ever since for that. And, it was a great car, little two-seater. It lasted me for about a year and 3 months. But it all started falling apart, and I couldn't afford the parts. There were these English parts, Lucas parts, for an Italian car. Why that is, I don't understand. But they were very expensive, so there goes my Alfa Romeo. But for over a year, it was a real chick magnet. And the drive-in movie was my playground. I took a lot of young ladies to the drive-in movie.
Can you remember one movie you watched?
Yeah. Didn't actually matter what the movie was, but one was John Wayne playing Attila the Hun.
Yeah, not a
And then another one was The Seven Faces of Dr. Lau
That's
with Tony Randall.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember like it was yesterday. And this beautiful girl from Cuyahoga Falls. I remember her like it was yesterday. And I think I only took her out a couple times in my car. And I don't know why it didn't go on forever, because I was really enamored with her.
Well, probably because the car went bye-bye. Bye-bye Ray, you know.
What?
It's a cool car. It might have been the car she loved, man. If the car was as great as it made it sound.
Oh, man.
And I'm fired. I'll see you guys.
It might have been the car that she loved.
I'm just saying, you know. Gotta lighten it up a bit.
I knew the attraction that the car had, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But, you know, I'm not chopped liver.
She found that out when she turned the television on for the next 57 years. You win, Red. In fact, you probably do a drinking game. Yeah. Where you turn your TV on for 1 week and you will see him at least pop up once. I mean, he and I were in the hotel one night and Jeepers Creepers 2 was on TNT and we were like, yeah. I was like, Ray, you're getting paid right now. Look. Well, sadly, that's the hour.
Really?
That's the hour. I know. We got another show at 2 o'clock. But here's the cool part, because we've got another show at 2 o'clock. But this next hour, we want to meet you all. They're gonna get you over to the library here, and Ray will be selling